and welcome to all of our Gold viewers who are here with us today. I'm Kristen Schwarz, licensed midwife and one of the MCs here at Gold. And today I'm here with Wendi Cleckner. Welcome back, Wendi.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
You are, of course, part of our Gold Midwifery online conference 2026. We get started it's just around the corner, Wendy,
Yes.
on February 2nd. We get started with our open access free keynote presentation to kick the event off. And your presentation is part of the conference, as I mentioned, and it's titled At the Crossroads, Community-Based Midwives and the Legal Work. Oh my goodness, what a big topic and so needed for our viewers, for everyone who's working in the field, right? We definitely need to learn more. But first of all, when you tell us a little bit about it, yourself, you have such an amazing background. You are an attorney and a midwife. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
wow. So you wear several hats. So tell us a little bit about yourself and
Oh,
your
thank
background.
you. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, so I am a midwife and attorney, as already stated, but I was a midwife first and the longest. I became a
Mhm.
midwife a little over 25 years ago and mostly practiced in the community setting, in home birth in particular, but I absolutely had my stints in the birth centers around here in Phoenix, since all of them are owned by my friends, and then found myself in some legal trouble
Mhm.
with the state and my licensing department and thought that I might lose my license to practice midwifery. And so I pursued a different route, which was the legal system, and went to law school, got my JD, and then became licensed in Arizona and New Mexico, actually, to practice law. So I've been supporting and defending midwives while still being a midwife. I'm still doing
Mhm.
home birth. But yeah, a little bit
Wow.
about me.
So you took matters into your own hand and you you say like, you know what? I want to become a lawyer so I can help other midwives and I
Mhm.
know my situation, right? Like your own situation, you go like, I need to be able to defend myself, and educate others, other midwives about the legal world because it is
Mhm.
so important. And
Mhm.
and it is a difficult topic because our passion, of course, is, facilitating birth, serving the community, having those little ones
Right.
help those little ones into the world. And it's kind of daunting, right? That topic is kind of daunting, but I feel like we all need to be prepared. And honestly, I'm not sure if I am that prepared. So I'm glad you're gonna talk about this important topic. It's gonna be
Mhm.
interactive from what I understand as well.
For sure.
So let me ask you this, from a perspective of a midwife and attorney, what do you feel that midwives most commonly misunderstand about the law? Or yeah, let's start there.
For sure. Well, first of all, I think the law in general, not just to midwives, but to most people, brings a little bit of anxiety or
Hmm.
fear or mostly the unknown. And so, having really tangible tools, learning a little bit about the system, knowing your resources so that if there is an encounter, then you have the tools that you already need. So I think that that anxiety can lessen a lot for everybody, but
Yeah.
specifically with this talk with midwives. And I would say, especially because we are a licensed profession, there is a lot more interaction due to having a license and a
Hmm.
licensing body that we interact with that, does discipline, but also renewal and having to stay on top of all of our CEUs or paperwork. So there's a lot to that. And then you just get into the whole civil side of, unhappy clients that
Hmm.
in our litigious world, tend to go to the court system more frequently than we ever have seen in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And on top of that, and that might be also a little bit of a challenge for you as an educator, the law, especially in the United States, is different in every state, right? Like that is another, that throws
Yes.
another difficulties at us. And I know
Mhm.
you keep your presentation kind of so everybody worldwide can benefit from it without,
Mhm.
and you mentioned that to me, your exact words were without watering it down, which we
Right.
really truly appreciate. So tell me a little bit of what you see in your work and why you feel educating midwives on this topic has become such an important part of your passion.
hmm Mostly because, and I'm speaking from my own experience that led me down this road, is just a little knowledge before you get into situations can go a long way. And that most situations can be remedied simply by documentation, whether that's informed consent, or that's charting, or that's communicating with our words to whomever we're interacting with. I think there's just so many very small things that we can easily add to what we do every day that is just an extra layer of protection. And had we, come in contact with the legal world.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Documentation. You mentioned something so important there because we all know if it's not documented, it never happened, right?
Right? Yep.
So that's difficult,
Yeah.
but it's also not easy. We all know the stressful situations because when documentation is needed, often, or if we need to prove, or if the law comes to us like that, it's often because something is happening, right? And so
Right.
that might be especially a very stressful situation. Everything is, we need to act fast. And that's often when the documentation goes sideways, right? Because
Right.
people, midwives feel they don't have time or to do that, or they don't have enough. They need their helper, their birth assistant or the second midwife on for taking care of baby and birthing person. So how do we navigate that in those stressful moments?
Yeah. Well, the talk will definitely dive into that because I would say by far a majority of legal interactions happen around the unfortunate events, right? The
Mm,
emergencies, the transfers, the
mm-hmm.
not perfect butter birth,
Yep.
and so it's in those situations having just a few tools at our fingertips can help us at those critical moments where it can be the most um, common situation for the legal world to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you recommend? Goes a little bit besides being a lawyer, but I mean, you've been there and you've seen quite a bit, and you've talked to lots of midwives who, and helped them when they were in trouble. Tips can you give us to navigate emotionally, the stress and the scrutiny of the investigation? I
Mm,
mean, it's very trying times. Nobody sets out to make mistakes. Everybody wants to be the best they can be in the birth world, right? And if a
mhm.
situation like that occurs, that's very stressful and very intimidating. So, what tips can you give us for that?
Yeah. Well, I would say, again, we're going to go into some really detailed lists of things to have prepared for situations that come up. And so, but just real quick, obviously, working in a team, don't be out there alone. That
Mm,
team is going to be vital in critical situations, both in the moment, so that you're not alone dealing with something, but also in the aftermath. It's that team that can debrief together, can share the burden of something really big that just happened. And then if there is legal consequences, whether that's with your licensing board or that is a civil suit, you're not doing it alone. And I think
hmm
also having those resources at your tip, knowing the attorneys in your area who specialize in these circumstances, having those numbers already at the ready, so you're
Yep.
not scrambling for something. You're not, frantically looking for something in the moment, but you have that resource list. You have it already, and you can pull it out if ever needed.
Yeah, that's a very good advice, so
Mhm.
that, preparedness is so important, and that can alleviate some of the stress that comes with it as
Mhm.
well, not scrambling in the moment, trying to find, legal counsel or, what even is law about. And also, I think another very important um, message is also stay on top of the law in your state, right? I mean, there's sometimes
Absolutely.
changes and things get changed. I feel like it's very important to really keep on top of it and to make sure the law of the land in your state or country.
Mhm.
Um, that's absolutely very important as well. Um,
Mhm.
Wendy, before I let you go, what are you hoping our viewers will take away from this presentation?
Mostly a sense of relief that it's not as scary as you think it is, right? That if you ever find yourself in a situation of coming up against that law, the licensing
Hmm.
board, civil suit, or even criminal sometimes, that it's not as scary as you might think it is, that you
Hmm.
have the tools you need in order to survive those situations, and
Mm.
that you can just take that deep breath. It's not this scary monster in the closet, but it's actually a doable
Yeah.
journey.
And in the states that you practice, people can call you, right? If they get into
Absolutely.
trouble or if they are concerned about a situation, you could be their legal counsel. Is that correct?
And not just the states I practice in, I am a very good resource to
Hmm.
help you find an attorney in your area. So even if you aren't in New Mexico or Arizona, you can always reach out. We can always talk through a situation and get you the exact help you need.
Beautiful. I think that might,
Mhm.
just that information alone might be a big relief to so many midwives that they feel like there
Mhm.
is somebody out there they could talk to,
Yeah,
possibly help them or, just give them some resources and advice as well. So, Wendy, that was so lovely speaking to you. It's
great.
absolutely wonderful that you're going to be part of this year's Midwifery conference.
I feel honored to be here and I'm so excited for it.
Thank you so much. And here's some information about your presentation. If our viewers want to learn more about Wendy's presentation, and of course the entire conference and the add-on packages, we invite you to go to goldmidwifery.com. There you can also reserve your free spot for the keynotes. We have two keynote presentations that are open access. Make sure you share that information with your friends and colleagues in the field. And come to Wendy's session. I can tell you it's I've seen it, got a little sneak peek. There are gonna be checklists, there are gonna be interactive elements. So I hope to see everyone there and everyone at the conference. Thank you all so much for being here today and have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Bye bye, everyone.